Welcome to Learn English Through Stories, where every story teaches and every word matters. Learn English. Live the story. Let's begin.
Eli stood at the edge of the school book fair, watching his classmates crowd around the colorful books like bees around flowers. Bright covers, shiny stickers, noisy laughter. It was all too much. He kept his head down, drifting toward the back of the room, where the books no one wanted waited quietly. That's when he saw it. A thick, dusty dictionary with a cracked spine and yellowing pages. Most students wouldn't even touch something like that. But to Eli, it looked like a treasure. He picked it up, ran his fingers over the worn leather cover, and opened it gently. The first page had a name written in faded ink. Mr. Bennett, Library, 1994. Eli's throat tightened. That was his father's name. He turned a few more pages. Then something strange caught his eye. Next to the word serenity, someone had written a note in pencil. Find the quiet within the noise. Eli blinked. That handwriting. It looked familiar. Carefully, he flipped to another page. Next to voice, another note. Not everything loud is heard. It hit him. This wasn't just an old dictionary. It was his father's. And these weren't random notes. They were messages. That night, Eli sat on the floor of his bedroom, the old dictionary spread open in front of him like a map. He didn't turn on music, didn't touch his phone. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. But somehow, the silence felt full. He started flipping slowly through the pages. Next to fear, he found, name it, and it loses power. Beside curiosity, there was a smiley face and the words, always follow it, even if it opens a can of worms. Eli smiled. The more he read, the more it felt like a game, like his father had left breadcrumbs for him to follow. Little notes that hinted at deeper meanings. Some were poetic, others mysterious, and a few strangely personal. By the time he reached change, he found this line. You won't understand this now, but you will one day. Eli sat back. His heart was beating faster now. To be honest, he whispered, this is getting weird. He decided to mark the pages with sticky notes. A green one for anything that seemed like a puzzle, a blue one for anything that made him feel something. By the end of the night, the book looked like a porcupine, paper spikes sticking out in all directions. And still, he couldn't stop. There was something in these pages, something meant for him, something unfinished. The next morning at school, Eli couldn't concentrate. Math floated past him. Science didn't stick. Even at lunch, while everyone else laughed and shared videos, he just stared at his tray. The notes in the dictionary were eating at him. After class, he went straight to the library. The school librarian, Mrs. Dalton, raised an eyebrow. Need something, Eli? He hesitated. Did my dad ever leave books here? Personal ones? She smiled gently. Your father left something in everything he touched. He walked to the back of the library, the dusty corner no one ever went to. He opened the dictionary again. This time, he turned to a word that had always confused him as a kid. Faith. There was no note. But when he touched the corner of the page, it felt thicker, like two pages stuck together. He pulled gently, and something slipped out. A folded piece of yellow paper. His breath caught. He unfolded it with shaking fingers. The paper was covered in his father's handwriting, but this wasn't like the notes in the margins. It was a letter. Dear Eli, if you're reading this, I'm not there to explain, but maybe that's better. Words can say more when no one is watching. This dictionary isn't just definitions. It's a trail, a mirror, a test. I want you to find the words that define you. You won't always understand me, or yourself, but don't stop searching. When life feels heavy, remember, words have weight too, and the right word can lift everything. Eli didn't realize it, but tears had started to form. Not from sadness, but from something deeper. A connection, a bridge, a voice he hadn't heard in so long. He sat still, holding the letter close. For the first time in weeks, Eli didn't rush home. He walked slowly, the dictionary tucked tightly under his arm. He wasn't worried about homework or messages. He was thinking about words, his father's words, the ones in the margins, the ones in the letter, and the ones still waiting to be found. Something had shifted inside him. At home, he placed the dictionary on his desk like it was made of glass. Then, without thinking, he picked up a pencil and wrote in the margin. Next to the word listen, he scribbled, "Don't wait for your turn to talk." Then, beside lonely, he wrote, "You're not really, when you're reading." It felt strange at first, like crossing a line. But it also felt right. He was no longer just a reader. He was a part of the story. That night, he couldn't sleep. He turned the words over and over in his mind like puzzle pieces. Then a thought came out of nowhere. A light bulb moment. What if other people needed this too? Not the letter, not the clues, but the idea that books could talk back, that words could be alive. He packed the dictionary into his bag the next morning, not sure why. He just felt like he should. At school, his English teacher, Mr. Rami, noticed him carrying it. "Is that a dictionary?" Eli nodded. "Kind of." Mr. Rami smiled. "That's a rare sight these days." Eli paused, then did something he hadn't done in months. He raised his hand. "Could I show something to the class?" The classroom fell silent when Eli stood at the front. He wasn't the kind of student people noticed. He was the one who sat in the back, never spoke unless called on, and never raised his voice. So when he placed a giant dusty dictionary on the teacher's desk, everyone leaned in. "This belonged to my dad," he said softly. "He used to work in a library." No one said a word. "I thought it was just a dictionary," Eli continued. "But it's more than that. He left notes inside. Clues. Ideas he flipped to a page and read aloud. Find the quiet within the noise." He looked up. That's what he wrote next to the word serenity. A few students exchanged glances. Someone whispered, "That's cool." Eli smiled a little. "And now I'm adding my own notes, because maybe someday someone else will find them." Mr. Rami stepped forward. "That's the most beautiful use of a dictionary I've ever seen." Then a girl in the front raised her hand. "Can we see it too?" "Sure," Eli said, "but I have one rule." Everyone waited. No tearing pages, and no using it for homework. The class laughed, but it wasn't mocking. It was warm, genuine. Something had changed. From that day on, the dictionary sat in the corner of the classroom, open to a new page each week. Sometimes Eli flipped it, sometimes someone else did. Every so often, a new pencil mark would appear in the margins. Not everyone knew who wrote what, and that was okay, because they were on the same page. Eli never said much about the dictionary after that. He didn't need to. Sometimes someone would whisper, "Did you read the new note?" Other times, a student would just stand over the book, flipping gently like it held answers. And in a way, it did. Every time someone added a word, a thought, a memory, the book grew. It wasn't a dictionary anymore. It was a place where people left pieces of themselves, their hopes, fears, thoughts too big to say out loud. It was quiet, but not empty. And Eli? He still walked with his head down sometimes. Still didn't like loud crowds or small talk. But something had shifted. He didn't feel like a fish out of water anymore. Because he had found his current.
Key idioms you learned. Kept my head down, stayed quiet to avoid attention. It hit me, sudden realization. Open a can of worms, start something that leads to complications. Breath caught, emotional or sudden surprise, more idiomatic in use. A lightbulb moment, sudden realization or clear idea. On the same page, in agreement or understanding. Eating at him, something was deeply bothering him. Fish out of water, feeling out of place. Useful expressions and phrases. To be honest, sharing a sincere thought. I didn't see it coming, something unexpected happened. It was no big deal, until it was, something that seemed small became important. I kept my head down, staying quiet or unnoticed. There was something in his eyes, emotions visible through expression. That moment stuck with me, it became a lasting memory. I turned the page, literally, symbolic and literal, starting something new. Thanks for watching this episode from Learn English Through Stories. If you learned a new expression or idiom today, give this video a like. Leave a comment to share your favorite part or what you'd like to learn next. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new story. See you in the next one.